Yellow-breasted, canary-crested, manifested the theory of relativity with a proclivity of bare-chested beating its wings, explained the nature of deciduous trees versus coniferous, some of them rhizomatic, emphatic in being one universal organism. Giddy up, son, sally forth and saddle and sack the fuck up, some. I recognize it's troublesome, quite cumbersome, but it don't take the Hubble, much less the mere light of the sun, to see you must be comfortable with misery if you ever wish to be pleased. Desire consumes one like a disease, a malaise, and feeded stinking blue cheese funk of a steez of being, paying the fees on all the anxiety-laden skeezy schemes and campaign dreams of mansions, springs, and fountains, with little secret gardens for the nymphs and a dungeon for the condemned, and the leper all but nowhere to be seen because they ghosted him from the scene. Far be it from anyone to lose an appetite over necrotic flesh wounds, and some courtly battleground littered with body parts lost, strewn among the candelabras around a primate posing as an abracadabra, summoning chupacabras from his fedora, which is an odd choice of haberdashery, or however you say it. Voulez-vous, who's it, in the what's it with the candlestick? It was Colonel Mustard, the one that did it, the one he seen, he cold quit it. Colonel Condiment of a nature, yellow or Dijon? Might he be Colonel Dijon, or simply John, or perhaps an alias of Jack, or simply Jack, a real powder keg sort of SOB to any witness who once cracked a Fabergé egg just to sniff its innards, said it tasted like betrayal and limes as served on a coaster woven from burnt presidential hair. Jack, no, John, no, Colonel Dijon, with a monocle filled with vintage pond scum, who could recite the Iliad backwards in sign language, but only when submerged in tapioca. He whispered stock tips to a wounded dove who'd once been renting space in his breast pocket for several fiscal quarters, and that bird knew things, deep things, like when he banged or bagged Miss White, much to the delight of a mooning Professor Plum, himself abjectly numb to the charms of Miss Scarlet, who died in the library of a broken heart before her bowels evacuated and she farted out the start to Ravel's Bolero. The leper ghosted, sure, but also hosting a TED Talk on the ethics of invisible ink, sponsored by a hedge fund run by autistic plutocrats who only invest in dreams deferred. Someone sounded a foghorn and all the nymphs fled to the nearest motivational poster with a sunset and a hawk and the words hang in there, misspelled just slightly to imply deeper meaning. Back in the dungeon, Jack John Dijon lit a candle made of congealed bat guano and revealed his true identity. And he was Anthony Fantano. He was Anthony Fantano. He was always no one other than Anthony Fantano.